Okay, on our language journey, we were into the orals and we started where we are introducing them pictures and related names, and then they know how it sounds like and all that. How do we connect oral language to written language now? We are entering now, transitioning from literacy to, from language development to literacy. The activity that connects that is reading, right? So we discussed earlier a little bit of a dynamics of reading and writing activity, and we move further from that. Now, how do we start this activity? I have to start reading. What's the first step I'm going to do? If I recall my experience, that used to be, okay, now we have finished lesson number 4, the next lesson number 5, Ashraf Kabagh, start that. And the teachers start the way they do. Fine. That is not the right thing to do. Right? For simple reason. Any process that we do, any activity, there is something that goes before it, there is something that goes after it. What goes before it is sort of preparations for that activity, and what goes after it, unfortunately that part is largely missing, but that's about how we did and reflecting. And if this is happening, it's not enough. Some learning should come back, and I should learn, if this is how I was doing and this is what I was getting, and I'm doing some learning and trying to adjust myself continuously, I still feel I'm learning, but actually I'm not learning as a system. I'm not learning. Every system tries to do that, but we have discovered, thanks to research community, they keep shaking us on these ideas. Guys, you feel it's learning, but it's not learning. Learning is if you go a little step back and starts why a question, and start questioning your assumptions and ask, how could I do it differently? Only then. This is called double learning loop. Unfortunately, I mean, education, schoolings are almost devoid of it. I mean, organizations are largely who are doing, they are thriving. But what the education needs it most, right? It's supposed to produce researchers. So anyway, something goes before reading activity. Why something goes? Because that's how, if we do algebra, we have to do something which goes before algebra. Think about it. If it's a multiplication, something goes before it. If I'm going to fly, there is something which I have to do before it. Now, from exercise, jogging, swimming, sex, eating, play, anything, I have to do something before it. And what I do before, the sort of preparation is directly proportional to the complexity of the activity. Suppose I'm preparing myself for the space flight, right? Flight into space. And that is a pretty complex and would take a lot of time for astronaut or cosmonauts kind of preparation. We can't imagine. I met 2 Japanese teachers. I shared their small clippings, their journey. They said in Japan's universities, the first year, they asked us rather, here in Malaysia, do you have year 1 in university? And our colleagues over here, we are not aware of. See, in our culture, year 1 is about preparing students how to prepare yourself and get best use of the university ecosystems. Otherwise, if you just start, you won't be able to even take up things for yourself. So, the more knowledge rich and complex an activity is, the more you have to prepare for it. So, reading, if we are abruptly starting, that means we don't know what reading is. Simple. Reading undergoes a lot of things, which is visualizing, decoding, recalling, memorizing, and building their knowledge on the previous knowledge, reconnecting, and at the end integrating the new things that are coming and enjoying and making sense out of it. Now, if this sort of activity is taking place, we need to do a lots of preparation on it, because we are supposed to do things at the ahsan level. Ahsinu inna Allah yuhibbul muhsinin, not just as the kind of okay, let's just start it. No, so some pre-reading activity will precede, right? That pre-reading is, what am I going to do? What kids already know? What kind of vocabulary they have? Have I selected the right book for them to, which connects to them? Can I give them the choice? We can do the robot or the elephant or the monkey or the which kind of book? And if we get to that stage, children would kind of feel like we are driving the show, and they become decision maker. Right from here, the seed starts, right? And is the sitting place, physical arrangements, how they sit is proper, and they sit at my level and I sit at their level, so that we can talk eye to eye and close. And so the book, the vocabulary, the previous knowledge, the seating arrangement, the physical arrangements, all that connected. Then have I seen that book and I've read it? So let's start start looking at the book, and if the children have come to me and we are starting pre-reading things, that is how it sort of should look like. Okay, we will go to Mona's house as we discussed, and Mona is a farmer. He lives in a village. His house is really very, very beautiful, and he has birds in his house. You see, you know, what does he like? He likes to fly kites. So there are other kites also. So are you ready? We should go for the Mona. Now imagine they will be connected. They will be excited. It creates an anticipation in them, and then we start reading. So the lesson is, it's not just starting abruptly as unprofessional or something. It's unethical. It's simply unethical, and it's simply ignorance, and we should kind of do things meticulously at the level of beauty. Thank you very much.